Welcome to FYI. Welcome. We trust you guys are great this morning. Good to have you here. Good to be starting in this way with you folks this morning. My co-host going to be joining us a little later on. Welcome to FYI for your information. Wherever you guys are joining us from, Beatrice Selby and all the other folks, wherever you guys are joining us from today, folks, please share the live. Smash that emoji button, you know how we do it. And as well, partner with us is the 16th day of what? September already. We've passed that half month mark, guys, and we trust that you are great at your end. We're trying to be great at our end. And together we're going to do it, folks. We're going to do it. Great to see each and every one of you who have joined us this morning. Pull up a cup of something. I'm having some coffee. What's supposed to be hot coffee. I think it's midway there. Lynn Finance, good to see you, and Carol Jeffers, all the other folks joining us. Really a privilege to see each and every one of you, to have you here with us this morning. Good to have you folks. You know how we do it. Pace, and power, guys. Good to have you wherever you guys are joining us from this morning. Good to have you guys with us. Good to see you folks. I see, is it Steph? And Claire Alexis Charmley is here with us too. Welcome, Claire. And Donna Matu is here. And I see Andrea Paradise. And Kenneth is here too. Kenneth Dennis. And all the other beautiful folks. Donna Matu joining us from Region 6. If she's at home this morning, that is. I'm assuming Elaine Smith is here too. And Rhonda Spencer, Ingrid King. Guys, we're really happy that you're here with us. And we'd have it no other way. Mabon King, good to see you there. And Kenneth Dennis. Carl Prince, all the other folks who are joining us on Facebook this morning. We're trying to make sure that we are in all the right places where you guys are watching, you folks. I see we have Sonia Massey Cobb is here. Good morning to you as well, Sonia, and Rhonda Spencer Tom. Is it Mageko or is it Magiko Dean? I see Candy Inderji. Yep. Donna says she's from the East. Wise people came from the East indeed, or come from the East. And Donna Harris is here. Desmond Harris, rather, is here with us. And all the other folks joining us. We're going to do a little switcheroo. I'm more suited sometimes so behind the scenes and making sure we start smoothly at this end. And I know Judy is going to come and join us in just a little bit. She's pushing out fun this morning. I know what's the trouble. I take pushing out. I like to see things balanced. Yep. I take push out this morning, but she's going to come and she's going to guide you guys through some of the stuff in the morning papers, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to wrap up with the some stuff that's happening, some stuff that brewing like a morning coffee, some stuff that brewing we think you ought to know about, and then we're going to wrap up with the big issue. Kylo Tech Card, good to see you, and Mavis Davis, well, good to see you as well, and James Roberts, and James Roberts, Harvey, and all of you folks, Roxanne Garway, wherever in the world you're joining us from. I hope you got up, you did your little devotion this morning. I shouldn't say a little devotion. I hope you did your devotion this morning and you started this Friday well. 16th day, folks, already. 16 days we've gone into September. And I hope that it's been a productive 16 day for you folks. You know, you're following some dreams, you're following some aspirations and hopes. You're trying to realize some of your ideas and some of your plans that you have, and we hope that you're well on your way to doing that. Way past mid-year, we have some time. Even now, you can still look back and tweak, alter the sales to get to where you need to go, folks. And we are really rooting for you guys as you guys root for us as well. Sheena Hazel, we see you there, and Janet Ann Smith Undan. Good to see you. Riri Mingo Gary as well, and Laverne Hiles. I see Candy Linda Jeet. Happy Friday to you as well, Marky Mar, all the kids and so forth. Marcel D'Oliver, Dolly Vera is here with us too. And again, guys, sometimes you got to do things how you got to do things. I see Magiko asking us a question there. Sometimes you got to just do what you got to do. Can't be legit, now, sir. Joy A. Hopkinson, not to be mistaken with Joy B. Joy A. Hopkinson, good to see you, Joy. And Shirley and Juice Tendry, good to see you. Fantastic, beautiful folks here with us this morning. We are so honored and so pleased that you folks can join us in this way. Charles Humphrey is joining us from New York. Yep, good to have you, Charles, and Nolan Jeffrey Ford. Yolanda Richmond Moffat. Candy, Leland, Digit, and all the other folks joining us this morning. We're so very privileged. We count it a privilege to have you guys here with us. Pour up a cup of coffee or something, coffee, tea, coffee, and we're gonna get to go in just a second, folks. In just a second, we're gonna be ready to invite my morning co-host with us. Yep. You might hear some stuff shuffling around. You know why. You can get to understand why you hear some stuff shuffling around. Yep. Take your time, peel your pine. Good to have each and every one of you joining us, folks. Good to have each and every one of you joining us. Good to see you. Good to see you. Drina, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? Guys, good morning to you. I'm late.
It's Friday. You're just in time. You're just in time. Just in time.
Well, Friday is a good day, Friday's the end of the week. You know how I'm always excited about Friday. You know how I like to do
We know.
I'm always excited about Friday. Hey, I see you there, Magna Barrow, there in the comment section. Says good morning, praying for a breakthrough on the FYI family and Guyana. Yes, we are all praying for that. Susie Wong says good morning, folks. I see is a GT boy in the house this morning, also saying good morning, everyone there. I see Hazel also there this morning. Hazel is in the house, and once Hazel's here, we go. Isabella Butters, Isabella, we be different now, When we reach up, we just be different. So I see Isabella here this morning as well. Good morning to you, Isabella. I hope all is well there at your end. I hope you're having a phenomenal morning. Guys, I see Candy and Nalini in the Jeep. Hey, Candy, what's going on with you? I hope all is well. Candy said, well, when Candy come before me, it's a problem. So Candy beat me to it this morning. My apologies, dear. I see Warnell Garnett is in the house also this morning. And it's Sukchan?
Sudhari.
That's it. Good morning to you. I hope you're having a good morning. I hope this Friday morning is just phenomenal to everyone. I know, like I said before, I know that when it's Friday, persons just get all the energy that they were lacking Wednesday and Thursday, and they rush to work because they're so excited to get out to the door in the afternoon to make sure that they go in to the weekend. And I'm going to implore that you are safe. Make sure that you are safe out there. Whatever you're doing on the roadways, be safe, guys. If you're having a few drinks with your friends during the weekend, do not drive. Make sure that you have a designated driver and all of those things. You know how I always like to just ask, beg, plea with you to not go out there and be reckless. I see Cheryl's friend there coming through. Aliyah Waldron in the house this morning. Hey, Aliyah. Aliyah, you've been missed, I don't know what went on, but you've been out for a little bit. I don't know if you were in Facebook jail or something. I'm believing that. I see good morning. Is it Naomi Jiraka? Hey, Naomi. I hope I got you first this morning. I hope Sheridan beat me to the punch. And I see Agri Marsh there as well. Agri coming through. Agri Problem Child. Whatever it is that you call him, that's the guy. He's coming through there this morning also. King's Styles. King Styles is coming. I'm not sure this is someone's Facebook name, personal Facebook name, or this is a page of some store. I don't know. King's Styles, whatever it is. Good morning to you. King Styles says good morning to my FYI family. I'm watching from Boston. So good morning to all the folks that's joining us from Boston this morning. Let me see who's joining from Queens. If you're joining us from Queens, come through. Queens in the house. Once Queens is in the house, we are super, super, super happy to have each and every one of you with us. Long Island as well, I see Kyla Tech Clark there this morning says birthday weekend, mass transit all weekend. Kyla Tech, well, I don't know. Kyla Tech, let me be honest with you, based on your posting on Facebook, I'm not sure how your birthday's going to go. That's going to be hyped, right? So I'm going to be watching on. I'm just going to be a viewer for this morning when it comes to Kyla Tech's birthday. I see Naomi Joker says, yes, Juliet got me, got me first. Sheridan shout me out. He's slacking. Naomi, what are you gonna do without me? Come on. I see Warren Figueroa saying Chili Friday morning. Well, interesting. That's coming all the way from Long Island. I hope that it continues like that. That sounds very, very appealing to me. Indrani is saying morning, neighbor, morning from Boston. Good morning to you, Indrani. It's lovely of you to be here with us this morning. I see Courtney October is also here with us this morning. Courtney, I didn't see you yesterday. If I missed you, my apologies, but I didn't believe I saw you yesterday. I see Dolly Anderson. Linton is here with us this morning. Brooklyn, she's joining us all the way from Brooklyn, and we are so blessed to have you with us. It's always a pleasure. Guys, share the stream. You know what's going on. Early this morning, as soon as we get here, the one thing that we ask is for you to share the live. Make sure that everyone gets the opportunity to have the credible information. I see Maureen Coppins Williams. Hey Maureen, what's going on at your end? I hope you're having a good day. I hope your morning has been awesome, and I wish each and every one of you a phenomenal rest of the day. I see Candice and Joretta. Joretta, you are in Skellam Market, and I didn't even get to meet you, and you are so close to me. And yes, I was in Skellam Market. You know, the hardship has been felt throughout the length and breadth of this country, and I'm happy that you folks have been having the opportunity, you know, and being given that little bit of footage so that you can understand what is going on the ground. I continue to tell you people that, believe it or not, when it comes to the division in our country, the most serious division we're seeing is the division between the rich and the poor, the haves and the have-nots, the fact that persons are living in absolute poverty, some people just surviving above the poverty line, and I keep trying to bring that over. And that doesn't have any, it doesn't see race, it doesn't see skin texture, doesn't see hair texture, it doesn't see any of that. It's just completely crazy, and we are continuing to see. We've been moving throughout the length and the breadth of the country, guys. You saw what happened in Peters Hall there with the residents there, the manner in which persons are surviving, and then to add to it, you know, all the devastations. We went to the Skellam Market. You saw what's going on there. The prices skyrocketing. Every single vendor. We did not reach one single vendor that said, "Oh, things are great." None of them. Every single last one of them was saying that it is a completely devastating. And when we asked about how much have your sales dropped, at one point we were asking, it's 50%. The guy said no, it's 75% down. They're barely surviving. It's absolutely crazy what is going on there. And then to add insult to injury, you saw what was shown last night on the affiliate program, you know, where the squatters there. Absolute craziness. Our country is in a state of dire need for good management as it is right now, and I don't know how long more persons are going to be able to survive under the current circumstances. I see Talicia Koja, I'm not sure I got it right, but I hope I did. It's quite an interesting name, a nice ring to it. And Terrence Curlett is also joining us there this morning. Out Front Parts, you know, Out Front Parts comes through every day. I don't know who you are, but I have to say that I appreciate you taking the time out every single morning to spend this time with us. You are most welcome in here today. I see, is it Wayne? Good morning to you, Wayne, guy. I hope all is going on. I'm going to have a little bit of tongue twister this morning as I go into the first bit of what's in the morning paper, so you're going to bear with me. But before we even get to that point, guys, let us make sure that we do not miss anyone there in the comment section. I see Gloria Fraser. Let me know. I think Friday mornings I like to be more interactive with you. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you share the stream. Good morning. I see you there, Warren. Warren is saying good morning to his friend there, Dr. Paul Passad. I see Fitzherbert Jerk is also there with us. Good morning to you. And I see, is it Edward Gonzalez? And you know where Edward joins us from the Bronx. Anybody joining us in Region 1, anyone joining us in Region 8, Region 9, let me know there in the comment section really quickly. If you know someone in those areas, make sure that you share the stream to them so that they can get the credible information as well. We do not want any part of this country to be excluded from this conversation that we have every single morning. We want to make sure that every part of this country is included. So we have a responsibility collectively to make sure that we share this stream to each and every region persons that reside in those little nooks and corners of the country where that's not so densely populated and all of that. And as we're talking about population, make sure you get counted. This is super important data when it comes to the census. Make sure that you are counted. I think that it is absolutely necessary. And as announced, I know that I can tell you this one time, the census 2022, census day was yesterday. The announcement was made that all persons that were in the country from 12 midnight to 6 a.m. on the 15th of September will be counted in the census. So that's the baseline date that we're working on right now. So make sure you get counted. Super, super important data. Your entire lives are crafted and policy decisions are made based on the findings from these from these studies and on this bit of data gathering that you're going to see persons coming around and actually taking information for. So do not miss out on this absolutely pertinent information. And I need this information. Trust me, I do. Like everybody else should need it. I see Tom and Jamor Marcus is here with us this morning. Good morning to you. I hope I got our name right again. I try my best to get your names right because I don't want to be miscalling names on this program in the morning. I see it. Pamela Johnson says, good morning, daughter. You see, Pamela, you make me feel so special in the morning. And Joy Koja says, good morning, FYI family. Great job. And that's Montreal is in the house this morning. So lovely of you to be here this morning. It's so lovely to have you. Charles Humphrey says, good morning from New York. Good morning to all the folks that's joining us from New York this morning. Come, let's separate this. Let me see the Queens and Brooklyn people coming through separately. Queens and Brooklyn, they're different. So when I see persons, when I give shout out to persons in Brooklyn, I get comments and I get messages saying, what's happening? Shouting out to people in Queens. So I have to make sure that I tell each and every one of you good morning, and I hope that you're having a good day. I see Jewel Ward also is with us this morning. Jewel Ward says, good morning, FYI family. Happy Friday. Magna Barra says, none of them is listening, but they don't comment. But Magna, we know this. Some people have the fear of God in them, that if they come through and comment on these things, the persons are going to be very vindictive to them, especially when it pertains to their jobs. So at some point in time, we do meet people on the streets and they're like, we look at the program all the time, but we at work, so we can't comment. I said, we understand the gravity of the situation and the vindictiveness of the administration. So it is very sad, but we have to continue to push on all the persons that are there in the land of the free, where free speech is something that you enjoy without any bit of fear. Make sure that you do your part and share so that those persons can be diving into the information. Well, Alia Waldron coming through Rowan this morning. Alia said, y'all don't big up the Eiffel out people. Well, Eiffel out people don't comment. Right. So once you're joining us from Eiffel, I say good morning to all of you wonderful folks who's joining us from Eiffel. I know a lot has been going on there. I did go to school right there in Shoreville Secondary, so I know the entire area very, very intimate. I know the area well. I used to be through all of those villages on the West Coast as when I was in my teen years. So all the folks in Eiffel, I have a lot of friends actually that is living there. So make sure that you share the stream and make sure that the credible information is had, and those folks will be able to join in the conversation and be commenting. Is absolutely necessary. I see the Bronx is chilly this morning. Well, the Bronx is chilly, Long Island is chilly. Guys, you know what's coming up there, so I don't have to tell you. I think that's a good weather. I think that's going to be a good weather. I would enjoy it. I don't like the heat. So anybody that knows me know I don't like the heat. That's not for me. But guys, share the stream. I'm telling you, don't be slacking this morning. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. Let's end it with a bang. Let's make sure that we have the most shares today. Right? Candy side done share ready. Come on, move to the front of the class, and everybody else that hasn't as yet, make sure that you do your part and share. But your son coming, Pamela. Your son coming through, Justin. Your son working hard. What could I say? Pamela checking on her son. Penelope Howard is there in the comment section. Good morning to you, Penelope. And this is Reynald Warrell. Good morning to you, sir. I hope all is well at your end as well. I hope that Rhonda Spencer Tom is having a good day. Guys, let me carry on. I can carry on for hours, but let me just jump into the morning papers as I see Marlon DeYoung is saying, love you, my dear Guyana. Marlon is all love for her country flags flying high there in the comment section there this morning. Yvonne Ramasar, I cannot miss you, Yvonne. It's always a pleasure to have you with us in the morning. You are always a blessing to this program. And I don't know what Panda G is coming through with there. So let us move into morning papers. Let us move in and see what is going on. The WHO is saying some things. I've been talking to you guys when it comes to these things. I said yesterday, and I give my apologies before I go into these conversations. I always apologize when it comes to what is going on out there. Whether with medicine, the pharmaceuticals altogether, I think that this is the age of all the vaccines and the pharmaceutical cooperations just having an impact in every single department. They have been tremendously helpful. I must say that like, back in the days, if we were to do any bit of research when it comes to health crisis years ago, before I was even born, you would understand the great impact that pharmaceutical corporations have had in making sure that they develop medicine and treatments that persons are not dying out by the entire villages. And so we are very appreciative of the efforts and the works that have been put into those research and development of medication, so that we are not all getting sick and dying out by the hundreds and so forth. COVID did come, and there was a whole lot more there, but I am very cautious and very skeptical of us moving as a world into the direction of a vaccine age or something like that. And I did say that prior. I did say that very strong feelings towards it altogether. And I did say that that's coming from the fact that I have 2 sets of vaccines in my system, and that is just, for me, is just unacceptable. So, but as it is right now, the WHO is strongly advising against the use of 2 COVID treatments. And guys, WHO has issued a statement, and I'm not even going to pretend that I could call these words, but because I definitely am going to fumble on them. But the WHO, as it is advising that since the virus has evolved, the mounted evidence from lab testing suggests that 2 particular therapies have limited clinical activity against the largest iterations of the virus. And these 2, I'm gonna be sure to make sure that I post a link at the end of the program, just there in the section above, so that you can look at it. But on Thursday, it said the WHO experts said that they strongly advise against the use of these 2 therapies in patients with COVID-19, right? And what I can tell you is that this goes back to what I've been saying. It's like we should not rush treatments. We should not rush anything when it pertains to medicine, because research, the R&D of this process altogether, from my layman, I'm no medical expert, but from everything that I've read, these things keep evolving. And as more studies are done into these departments, you hear persons things that they would have advised you to do prior, they suddenly start advising you against doing the very same things as you move forward. So at one point in time, persons would like, ice somebody down to kill a fever, and then you hear, no, wrap them up in a sheet to sweat it out, and it's different things. My mother only recently, like 2 days ago, went to the hospital when it comes to high blood pressure, and the doctor is telling her, well, let me go check the new standard operating procedures to deal with persons with high blood pressure, because everything has changed. The more research is done into these things, the more it changes. That's why I was highly skeptical. That's why I was highly skeptical about any rush to go into any specific direction when it comes to medication and vaccination. So you know what's going on with me there. I'm no medical expert. Don't take it from me. I'm just speaking from a layman perspective on this matter. And any medical advice that you need to go and consult with a health professional. Let me just put that out there as is. As it is going on right now, guys, believe it or not, as I just said, Census 2022 is officially on the way. And we've been telling you, make sure that when persons are coming to your homes, and so make sure that you are asking for identification and all of this, because the country that we're living in have so many criminals, sad to say, but facts. That's what it is. We have so many criminals out there that we have to make sure that we are extra cautious in who we let into our space, our yard space, and all of those things. So make sure you get counted. And Ministry of Finance could say, board statistics more specifically could say that I have been doing a lot of advocacy on their behalf to make sure that each and every one of you get counted, because this information, this is not, when it comes to data, there is no government data, these particular data, there's no government data, opposition data. This data is absolutely pertinent for every single bit, every policymaker, anybody that wants to be in policy making. These days is just absolutely necessary. It scopes, it crafts the way in which we move forward with the decision making of our country. So make sure you get counted so that you will be a part of the future of this nation and the way in which policies are developed. But guess what? 6 persons now have been charged for the $13.4 million heist at the Giftland store there. Oh gosh. Yeah, I've heard a story from so many different angles. I can tell you that. I've been hearing this story from 100 different angles. I want to know what you're thinking about it. What are you thinking about all that is being said as it pertains to this particular heist? The very first thing I can say is that once the news hit, I saw 99.9% of the persons out there were saying that 99% of the persons out there were actually saying that it had to be an inside job. Let me just put that out there one time. Persons were saying that it had to be an inside job. And believe it or not, everyone that has been pulled up when it comes to this specific case seems to had been very close to it altogether, especially one person that has been the cleaner. But guys, we understand the level of suffering persons are living through in the economy and all of those things, but crime is not the answer. Crime doesn't pay. It never pays. 6 persons there, and it's crazy, but it said police retrieved the clothes as part of their evidence and continue their investigation, and it led them to detaining Andrea Dover, a cleaner with the Giftlands Mall GT&T branch. So Andrea Dover, she could have done so many other things with her life, no matter how difficult things are. A sum of money was actually found by her. So it says she confessed that she was the one who had set up the robbery, but was not the mastermind. So I don't know, setting up a mastermind was a difference there. But nevertheless, she told police the mastermind was Jamal Haley, called Biggs, and reportedly said that he was the one who had approached her to plan the robbery. It's a Dover's job. This publication was informed was to give Haley his key details about the movement of cash from GT&T, including the security company that uplifted it and the time of pickup. It says she was also tasked with identifying all the entrances and exit points of the building. Someone comes to you, cleaning the building, and they're asking you with the security details and all of those things and planning a robbery. You're just as involved as anybody else is. Key person there, absolutely crazy. But believe it or not, the key person there is the cleaner. She is pointing fingers to Jamal Haley, also called Biggs. But all 6 persons, have been charged there with their part that they play there. Guys, do not involve yourself in crime. Crime never pays. It never ever pays, no matter what. And if you're in a particular circle and that's what they're pushing, that's not your friends. That's not people that you need to associate yourself with. If you're a cleaner at somewhere and someone's asking you to help them to aid in setting up a robbery, you need to get far from that person. You need to report that immediately, because that doesn't lead to anything well. I see our front part is saying, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry them guys. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what's happening there. I see it's a Kieran Clark, good morning to you. I hope all is well at your end, but I did miss Maya's comments because it's too long for me to catch up so far. So I'm going to go back to it, but I know you've been talking about something about the doctors and nurses and the city when it comes to the pandemic there all together. So I'll get back to those comments, guys, but share the stream as we continue with the conversation. Let me know what's your thoughts when it pertains to what went on there at the Giftland Mall and that heist of $13.4 million. What are your advice to persons going out there? No matter how much you're suffering, no matter how difficult things get for you, do not involve yourself in a life of crime. It does not end well. And believe it or not, you may be seeing persons walking around doing the most bad things, but they have secured themselves in the most ungodly and unlawful of manners, and you're not going to be the one that is going to be benefiting from those crimes. You're going to be the fault person every single time. The ordinary persons, the cleaners, the little teenage girls and boys that are always called in to be involved in these things, they're always the fault persons. They're the ones that suffer the most. And then the big boys get away with murder, as if I can put it over in that way. Sheila Boy, child, I say touching down from Queens, New York. Good morning, MP Lady J. Blessings on you. Good morning to you, Sheila Boy, child. It's always a pleasure to have you there in the comment section commenting in the morning. It is so good to have you be a part of the conversation every single day. You always bring a different energy to the room, I must say that. Share the stream, guys. Come on, share the stream. I'm looking at the comment section. I'm looking at the shares. You got to pull up. When it comes to the emojis, according to share, they got to be looking thin. And we don't like it like that. We like to look a little different. And Sharon Alfonso Evans, I hope you shared. And see you there in the comment section. Yvonne, let me know if Yvonne has shared, guys. Make sure that Yvonne has shared. Yvonne be commenting the most this morning, so we're hoping that Yvonne have already done her part and shared. Diana Graves Andy, what's going on at your end? Diana, hope all is well. Guys, but as we wrap up, my goodness, guys, as we move through and continue this morning, I want us to touch a bit on what is going on there at Success. And I see Beatrice saying that she's watching from bed. I'm not sure if she's feeling well or not. I hope you're feeling well, Beatrice, because I know this time you're usually out and about. But we want to be dealing with what is going on there with the Success Quarters. I did talk about it. I said we're moving from Peters Hall. We went to the Skelder Market yesterday, more so on the ground with what's going on there with the Success Quarters. Guys, let me say this, because this has been a wide conversation. Squatting, everybody knows squatting is illegal. There are things that we need to understand when we are dealing with human lives and the way in which we treat people. Squatting is illegal. We see the administration going to specific areas and regularizing squatters. It is not okay for you to do that in some areas and then go tear down homes in another area. That is what the issue is. There are severe issues when it comes to that. And I have to say, when you're going to be seeing in this footage that we're going to be bringing you in the next couple of seconds, you're going to be seeing real stories of real people. And I want to know, where's the Ministry of Human Service and Social Protection when you're hearing the gravity of these stories? When you're hearing that a woman is there with her 5 children, running from an abusive relationship, trying to find peace and safety, and then instead of the government actually having a program and a method, a mechanism in place to provide a safe haven for her, they went and tear down the little bit of shelter that she had put together for herself. These are real problems. It's not okay. It's not okay for you to tell persons that we are the fastest growing economy in the world. It's not okay for you to tell people that we are probably the most wealthiest when it comes to GDP per capita per individual, because I can tell you that mother is not feeling that. And that is a big problem. It's a real issue. We're going to be getting into it, and we're going to have a lot of conversation as it pertains to the poverty level of Guyanese, the haves and have-nots, the inequality gap that has been expanding under the PPP administration. So let's get into that bit of footage, and we'll be right back to have a discussion.
Tuesday saying housing is in here, and they're breaking down, and they already start breaking my structure, my house. So when I came in, I saw big holes in the house. I took pictures of it. I went live. However, I come over here to find out, because they were over here breaking houses. So when I come over here to find out what was going on, the police officers told me I cannot go beyond, which I was trying to go beyond. One of the officers pushed me. I pushed him back and he pulled his gun on me. A male officer, I have that on video because I was live. 2 officers so far have pulled gun on me. If squatting is illegal, just like how they're doing, giving the other squatters places. Why they don't come in, give we places? They're claiming that we are not living in here. My place get burned the 4th of May. Person stole my furniture and burned part of the place, and the remaining part is where housing come and break down. I spent almost $2 million there, and as small as it may look and impossible, it's not impossible. I spent $2 million there. That includes transportation fee to get in here and everything. I have 4 children. Now they're saying squatting is illegal, which means they cannot reimburse us or give us back nothing. Listen, this is what I want. I want a piece of land. I'm a Guyanese citizen, right? I need a piece of land. Everybody here is squatting because they do not have nothing.
They never give us any notice. We are parents, we are mothers, sisters, everybody who's living in here. As you can see, they have other buildings in here. People living with children. They never come and notice us that they're gonna break down our structures. They're gonna give us somewhere. They just come when we went to work and break down our structures. Now when we go into them, they're not telling us that anything. They're all telling us that squatting is illegal. Where we were gonna go to live? That's what we wanted to know. I have this girl here. She has 6 children and they break down her structure. Where is she living?
I am living in Success, squatting at the cane field, and I have 6 kids. Well, me and my son, I live in here because of domestic problem, and I have no help. Me and my son, we build our house together. When they came in, the housing came in, they start to break down. They break down my house, my mother's house, this old woman who have come with 2 wood and fetch it. We were in here even though it was mud. We struggle. We don't afford to get a lot of money to build it at one time, but we are trying our best to build it. They come in and they build a structure that already finished, and they leave up the frames. This woman, she sell dog food and build her house, and they came with sledge and they break it down. You could believe they were skinning the teeth wise to break it down. Where is our justice? We need justice. We are poor people. Guyana is our home. We are Guyanese. We need right. We have right in Guyana. What you gonna do about it? Where are we gonna go and live? Where am I gonna go and live with my 6 kids?
Where are we going to live? Where we children living?
Where I doing a small business to support my kids, sending them to school, and they coming in here and breaking down buildings.
I just come back from work. I was in the hospital. When I come back, my aunt tell me that they break down the thing why they there for my 2 children. Them 2 children I get a girl and a boy. This little boy. Yes, a tired Uncle Sherrod. I got nowhere to live. I went 2 hours and taking long.
This year ain't gonna be 4 years in Success, and the inception, they're supposed to, if that they want us to move, they couldn't have taken the bridge. They could have taken us out, tell us, well, you have to depart from Success. Now, you bring some papers and give Success people. Majority of them don't know to read and write. You didn't explain to them what is on the paper. You just bring the paper and you give them. How they could understand what is on the paper if you don't call a meeting and tell them what is on the paper? We don't know. I am living here. I just got to carry I get a foster child, a special child that I just got to carry to school. And I just be out on the road and don't sell me dog food and it's coming in the night. My husband, when they come the day they see, he actually mad. Right now he is in the hospital lie down. He wasn't no clothes and the officers are laughing at him. I come and I try because of shame, and he is in the hospital right now. I here because I got to look after the place. They even break down my son's place. He gone to work. The child, they reach a padlock on the house. His name was a plywood house. They reach padlock, lock the door. He have his things them in there, he bed and he wears them or whatever. They break up the house. They don't care what they break. Where are we gonna go? The majority of the woods that we build this place is what people don't want. What we collect. They reject, people who reject, people who have money reject these woods, and we beg. And we bring them for make a living because the cost of living. Majority we can't pay $50,000 rent, $70,000 rent, because the lowest a 1-bedroom place is $25,000 and $35,000. We cannot pay that when we get children got to go to school. If you got left Success to go till at BV, it's still a passage. You go to Vice Love, it's still a passage.
Some of what came out of Success. Just some of what has come out of Success, folks. believe it or not, and we're heading right, folks, into the morning. Do a lot of stuff brewing internationally, Jarita. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff, and we're starting with what's happening in the Ukraine, folks. We're following up what's happening in Success, and we're going to keep following also what is happening in the Ukraine. A lot of stuff happening around the world, and especially at home here in Guyana.
Yeah, but as we're starting, and we're gonna get, let's say we're gonna get into the conversation because I'm not done with what's happening there on the ground there in I'm not done with this, guys. Bear with me as I go into what is going on the international front. Ukraine says mass grave found in Izium where Russians ousted days ago. It said Ukraine authorities found a mass grave of more than 440 bodies in the northeastern town of Izium that was recaptured from Russian forces days ago, officials said, including some people killed by shelling and airstrikes.
Yeah. We got our own Ukraine right here. We got our own Ukraine happening right here, so we can't fight with anybody else. If we could solve the problems with Success and so on, then we probably qualify to come and, interfere with what's happening in Ukraine or Russia doing and so on.
It's absolutely crazy. When we talk about mass graves and these things, it just gives you a stock example. The image is implanted in your brain of what a war brings, and the fact that there's a war going on right now when persons are doing the most nonsense here in Guyana. There's a war going on between two countries there. The Ukrainians have been fighting, and it is interesting, if I can put it
very interesting
to see that Ukraine has still been able to retake areas that were captured from Russia.
Thousands are dead. And as you rightfully said, as the Russian forces moved out of that city, they found all these mass graves. And while that is happening, folks, the guys are meeting. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping met quite recently. And of course, Putin is reporting that Xi Jinping is very concerned with this war now. As you know, the Russians have been pushed from several of the Ukrainian cities, and Xi Jinping is rightfully concerned because he has lent his voice in support of what the Russians are doing, and all of that has implications on the world stage. So Xi Jinping apparently is kind of reconsidering his own involvement in all of that. Lots of stuff we're following, folks. Lots of stuff, and we're going to be going a little quickly. So try to keep up now. Pick up the pace.
And share the stream.
Do that for us. Folks, as we look at issues in the region, in Trinidad, this businessman is missing. And the family, they are very, very concerned about him. His birthday is on Sunday. They're going to be having a vigil, and they're hoping for his safe return. They're hoping for the best. But in Trinidad, where these things happen, oftentimes they have a very, very terrible outcome. But he left to go for a drive and just has not returned home.
Yeah. And so the family of missing business owner, Zaid Hussein, has said that he has never spent a night out without letting them know where he is. And they know that something is amiss with the disappearance of their loved one. Said that he's 54 years old, the owner of Robbins Agro Solutions, and he left his home there in Princeton, driving his black Toyota Fortuna on Sunday, and has not been heard ever since.
That was it, just like that, just as easy as that. That was it. You come out and you go back in. Be thankful. My barber was telling me the exact same thing just yesterday. He said when you go back in, you gotta be thankful. They lost one of their barbers quite recently too. And just tragic, folks. Just tragic. Other things we are following regionally, folks. I think in Guatemala they have this stampede at a musical festival. Quite a few persons killed, including children.
What's children doing there?
See, when I say meals.
What's children doing there? When I saw that, that's the first thing I thought about. What was children doing there? At least, it says the Stampede at Guatemala Musical Festival kills at least 9, including 2 children. What were children doing at the musical festival?
In of itself, Again, lots of stuff happening across the region. Culturally, a very beautiful country, but a very, very
that needs to be looked at. When it comes to the capacity and how you ram persons into those spaces for musical festivals and concerts and all of those things. It's a very serious thing, and we need to continue to look at it. I think it was it was one of the Kardashians' spouse. Oh my God, this is not good, but I can't remember his name. Nevertheless,
That's not important.
but someone did his audience, actually pushed someone into the stage at the bottom there, and they died. So it was absolutely crazy. We have to continue to look at it. Let's not forget moderation here in Guyana. So.
Yeah, moderation is well, Mayhem aside, Chronicle said it was a good concert.
Yeah.
Mayhem aside, but that being said, we still in the region, but this is kind of straddling local and regional news because there's a Trinidadian young lady who lives here now, who did pretty well, and she's been featured in the Express newspapers this morning. Trinidadian-born pupil, I think she got the 17th spot, highest grade in the country, and she's from Stella Maris. That's school might be familiar to you, Trina.
It is.
And she's now earned a place at Queen's College, and the Trinidadians are very excited that they're what do you call them? They're I'm trying to find the right word. Expatriate, not expatriate. I know the word, but it's not
Trinidadian
national. They're doing very well overseas and in Ghana. Her parents are extremely proud. They say when they move here, they have some challenges, of course, acclimatizing themselves to a new country, different place, different school system, and all that. But she's doing extremely well, and they're thankful.
Yeah. So proud of her.
I also
say that.
I also note here, Drita, that in this report here, they were very quick to point out the fact of her early schooling in Trinidad and the role that will have played.
Oh, I see.
So when we saw this story, we started wondering how many students who do well here come from someplace else.
No, don't worry. Chinese children are.
Well, I tell you, the Trinidadians were very, very keen to point out the school she did her early work in. Yeah. So
we have the whole list of 16 others to see where they started.
Yeah. Just from that, a little interesting. And we're following some other news locally, folks. We're in the 592. You would find this very interesting, Teresa, because we've discussed this on the program before. The fact that the government has been pushing the foreign oil companies to pay local suppliers within 4 to 5 days for you to take it from there.
The ice pass Chinese. The ice pass Chinese. I've said this before.
Why the ice pass?
The AP and UFC administration, for those of you who missed it, for all of I hope we have a couple shows online this morning for this particular one, because the AP and UFC administration went to the National Assembly and asked for public servants to be paid within 1 month. Those
public servants who don't join in the public service, you have to wait 5-6 months for your first pay.
Yeah, the others you get is like within 3 months as well as, and as it is, and the PP administration went there and they fought to the very last to make sure that was not so. They made very well sure that they did not put into law that public servants, that persons that are joining the public sector should be paid within the first month of their work. So when I saw them rowing about the length of time, when it comes to these the oil company and the way in which local suppliers are paid, I was wondering, how do they sleep at night? With these
They themselves,
differences in opinion.
They themselves need to do the right thing. Yeah, folks in time.
But when it comes to that bit of when it comes to that bill, that motion rather that went to the National Assembly that they voted against, they actually did an amendment and the amendment made it worse than it was before. The amendment says now the PPP amended it to say that, we're not going to pay them within the first month, but we're going to pay them within reasonable time. The PPP's definition of reasonable is something that you can ponder on.
Yeah. That being said, we featured this yesterday as we looked at these local issues that are brewing. Christopher Ram, we talked about him and approaching the Deeds Registry for this document that altered the production sharing agreement of 2016 between the then administration, the David Granger-led, and the ExxonMobil oil companies. And he said it could not be found, that disappeared. When he found a copy, he found a copy that's turned up that confirms that there was an amendment to that production sharing agreement, which said that this 2% that royalty that we get, they can't recoup the cost otherwise, and asking government to really and truly, asking the current government to really and truly be true to this agreement. So much. This government is like,
Jack, you knew this when
you don't want to look for foolishness, You don't want to look for the negative, but it's just there staring in your face all the time, and they make no effort, seemingly, or probably knew it existed, knew where to find it, they probably hide it themselves, and just was going in a different direction on the issue.
Well, Ram wasn't having it.
No, he wasn't having it at all. He wasn't having it at all. You know, different in this place. Very, very different. Some other news we're following. And this looks kind of weird when you look at it on first glance. But you know, the EU says they're cutting funding here. They say you have the money now, we are trying there. You have the money now, you are trying there. Right? They're cutting. They say for the next 4 years they've already have a smaller budget. And the things they're going to be lending their resources. And so you have GDP. This 26%, 56%, and other fancy figures. You all getting rich now. You have the money. You have the things. We pull them back our support. Yep. And while we're looking at that, the other thing that we're following, you're going to see is in stark contradiction.
Let us go forward with it, you know. Let us go forward. When it comes to those funding, and we can just start from this. When it comes to those particular funding, you know, a country has to be in a specific state of development in order for them to be for the country to actually qualify to get specific funding. So, and this is a problem that we're going to have, because as the GDP is increasing, as all the headlines go out, as the largest GDP, the GDP continues to grow, and your per capita GDP and all of those numbers, and it's looking attractive. That's why I continue to tell people we're not going to qualify for a lot of things that we were qualifying prior because of the state of our development. However, now we're faced with a situation in which the country is so divided. The gap between the rich and the poor, as we've been speaking about forever, is just getting wider. And we're going to have the largest proportion of the country in punishing. I don't know how else to say it.
Correct is right. You didn't say the wrong thing yet. You haven't said the wrong thing as yet. But guys, you know, this is part of what we are following. And you know, in other news where borrowing is concerned, they're telling us that, you know, even asking the vice president of the US of A, they want some more money. And they said they are requesting for the aid for vulnerable women and youth. What are we doing with the money? And that's about the Caribbean. Fair enough, our Caribbean countries might be in their own spot economically. But what are we doing with our money? We 80 billion we just threw out, plus the 570 something.
2.9 plus
2.9 plus 44.7 billion we got from the National Assembly. What are we doing with our money? Then we gone back for aid, and you know, for vulnerable women and youth. A good gesture, because our vulnerable women, as exemplified by those in Success, you know, who are looking for peace of land and so on. We could solve the problem like that tomorrow, but are we willing to do it?
But you know, the reports, the bit of the report that I saw, it was interesting the way in which I think Starbuck News put it over. Starbuck News said, and I quote, even as the United States yesterday reiterated its pledge of $28 million to the Caribbean for agricultural development. There's a different story, because you remember the 25 by 25, cutting the importation of food from X countries by 25% by the year 2025. We're going to see how that goes, because this pledge of $28 million is not for you to cut importation from them by no means, right?
We can lend the region there.
Nevertheless, but the same president, even as the United States who are reiterating that commitment, Irfan Ali also made a pitch to Washington for an additional $25 million for the vulnerable group of women and youth, you know. And you know what is interesting is the last time that Irfan Ali actually went to the US, and when he was coming back, you saw these big headlines when it comes to the Exim Bank and the $2 billion US dollars and all of those things, and persons were so excited over that. And people didn't understand, and I came on here and I said that money wasn't used like that. It's not like that.
I hope they understand now.
They have to meet the specific criteria in order for them to even have access to the money. None of those things have been relaxed when it comes to the interest rates and all. Exim Bank interest rates is a different level. Nevertheless, as we're looking At that,
Yeah.
what I can say about these bits of monies that are being pledged here by the U.S. The U.S. don't operate like a lot of other countries. I put it like
They're
that.
different.
And when they are given funding and given aid to specific things, they make sure that that's where it goes, and they don't just release money so you go spend it in those directions. And so a lot of frameworks have to be set up in order for them to see that the money is being spent where they are sent it out to be spent.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
other administration enable with those policies. Basically,
Yeah,
everything that
they
we've
give up.
seen thus far, they are yet to do anything in line with accountability and transparency that is required for these particular monies that,
Yeah, but I wonder,
that they get from
you
the
know,
US.
looking at the EU situation here, how much longer we can go with a bowl saying we want to send money when we have all of this money coming in and it seems to be disappearing with the same speed.
Well, when
you
it
know?
comes to, we have to separate when it comes to borrowings against aid of any other nature, granted nature and so forth, because borrowings are different, because borrowings come with a payback period. And what the PP administration has been doing since they got into office is they have been borrowing against the projected earnings from oil. So they've been spending money before we even got it, even prior. We spoke of that before, and whenever we see people like the vice president going out there and try to make this look good, try to make it look appealing to people, absolutely crazy, but it's a PP, so we're going to expect.
Hope they go further. While AFN is in Washington, we are examining this relationship, this deterioration relationship between him and Santoki.
This is Santoki pose.
Yeah, we're examining that relationship because they seem to have fallen out over those licenses. They're talking, they huggle up like they used to, pushing up and so on. This bromance seemed to have come to an end, so that is under the microscope as well. Interesting. Granger won them. Clouded Bubble was, if Granger won them. And Gordon, they were one, Simone George, Reverend Harris. They were one. Granger said, this thing is not as easy as you think it is. It's more nuanced. It's the policy we're talking about, right? But a young brush right behind the ears, he wasn't listening. He wasn't listening. Now, this is the result of it, unfortunately. Yep.
The results of it is that our fisher folk there is suffering tremendously, and they're not able to fish and to earn a living. Let's not just say fish. They're not able to earn a living for themselves and their families. And as we knew before, they were in grave danger prior. So the situation has been one that we've been monitoring very closely. We've been talking about the bits of difficulties and the challenges that they're facing there. And it's not a stretch of the imagination for us to say that we are hoping not to see that system and the fisher folk and that particular industry degenerate to what it was prior to 2015, because it was a devastating state of affair for them.
We went in a bad place. We were in a bad place. That being said, what is happening, some other issues happening locally we think you all know about is this issue of the graduates of this novel prosecutor course which is being conducted by the University of Guyana. They're saying now that these persons who graduate from the course will go into the police force as sergeants. Now, a lot of questions here. We don't know if some of them were police before, and they're saying now based on their performance during their stint in the police force will dictate whether they get foreign scholarships to go on to become lawyers, to study at UE and so on, to become lawyers. It's interesting that even the Attorney General is making this announcement and not the police force. Things seem to be a little chaotic here because overnight I saw, for instance, the police force making a statement that the DPP's office should be making concerning dropping the charges against the crime chief. Right? No reasons given and all of that, but the police force is making that announcement, and now announcing that the police force should be making, the Attorney General is making. It's a little upside down. Like everybody speaks of anything in this administration, and the whole thing is just confusion powder.
Who's in charge of it speaks on the matter. That's how you should see it. You shouldn't see it in no other way. Who is in charge, who is calling the shots, speaks on the matter. So when you see the police making an announcement, it's because the police calling the shots. Right? When you see the AG.
I thought you should have seen Jack Jew making the announcement.
Oh, that's different things. That Jack is next level. Jack level is different, You see what Jack is involved in, talk show host with oil and gas and stuff like that.
Yeah. That being said, folks,
No, but before you go on, no, before you go on, when it comes,
come again, come back to
I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss this. Come on, guys. When it comes to this prosecutor's course, I am hoping, and I say this without any reservations, I am hoping that in that course they teach them to uphold the law and not to take bribes on the side. We have had too many systems, too many cases, particularly when it comes to domestic abuse, gender-based violence, interpersonal violence. We have had too many instances in which prosecutors have been taking money to the side to push cases up. Prosecutors taking money to advise the woman to go home and drop the cases and those. I'm not speaking from a position of second-hand information. I'm speaking from a position of knowledge and first-hand information. So I hold the right to say what I'm saying. So I'm hoping that this prosecutor's court are actually having prosecutors go into the system that are not going to be involved in those skullduggery, as many of those that are currently are involved in. I can say that. You can move forward now, Sharon.
That being said, thanks, Sharita. The DP has dropped the private criminal charges against the crime chief. And this again was an announcement that was made by the police force and not the Director of Public Prosecution's office. But as we said in last night's program, the crime chief now joins an illustrious group of people who have had their charges dropped by the DPP. It seems to be that who are connected to, you're above the law.
I saw this coming.
Certain things will apply.
I saw it coming because this particular case has been one that we have been looking at very closely. We did not rather miss any bit of reporting on this particular matter. We know what is playing out. The entire country knows what is playing out. There is not a soul that have understanding, that have common sense, and don't see very clearly what is going on right now. In court of public opinion, this court has already been tried and dismissed altogether. The case has been tried. Persons have already rendered guilty verdicts to specific individuals and groupings, and that is what is going on there. But we believe to our core that these matters need to be taken through the process. It needs to be done through the core. Come on.
To be core.
Come on, guys.
We believe to be core. You know, what can you say? How
do you drop that? How do you carry on with one aspect but drop the other? Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
What happens?
And I'm talking about the prosecutor.
Just like that, folks. That's going to do it for me. And they said, I don't know, Julia, have anything else you want to add? I don't know if there's anything else I want to add, but I did tell you that I'm going to be mentioning, I'm going to be having some comments when it comes to the video that we showed a little bit earlier of the squatters there at Success and the level of poverty that those persons are in. So that is something that I do want to comment on before we wrap up today. And I'm going to say that you saw the video. A lot of persons that watched the video, comments that you're looking at it with a lot of emotions, and persons say there's tears in their eyes and all of that. But I want to say that you cannot expect persons that have been born with a gold spoon in their mouth, that has lived in a lap of luxury for their entire life, to understand what poverty is. And we definitely cannot expect those persons to be in any position to craft out policy measures that are going to alleviate poverty situations from people. Georgia, you raised an important point. You said early on, you began with the caveat that squatting is illegal. But based on what the government has been doing with squatters that support them, by giving them homes and giving them land, running water and light and all of that, there's an expectation, that you'll be even-handed like that with other folks who have grave hardship. And there's not thousands squatting there.
That's my point.
There's a handful of people who can have their life changed like that. Real hardship, people don't leave good homes and so on to go and squat. Life has dealt them a series of hardships, and they end up like that. A woman, when a woman decides, I'd rather be in a tin oven, right, than with a man who beaten me. You gotta support she boy.
Well, and that's why I asked a little bit earlier.
Right? It would be better to send a statement at the woman's death if she's still in a relationship. Oh God, she should have left long ago. But that's the alternative facing a lot of women. Leave to go where? We often say, oh, she should have seen the sign, she should have left. When you hear he killed she and all 6 children. Leave to go where? That is the where. That is the where. And then when you are the where struggling, an administration come broke down your house,
But there's
break down the wall, and they don't care where you're going.
But there was something very, there was something very profound about what was said there that I didn't want anybody to miss. And that is the point that they said that the person that was actually committing the act of breaking down were laughing. They found it funny. This is a joke to them. It takes, you have to be a special kind of freak to go and break down a home that have 6 children in it and laugh. You have to be a special kind of mentally retarded person to find that hilarious.
People don't understand.
And I hold no apology to my words.
People don't understand that it has been my experience that what goes around comes around, and what you do to people in this life comes back to you in this life. Right? You have a job to do, fair enough. You got to do it because that's where you get your pay from, and that puts on bread on your table. But you have to take, joy in people's sorrow in that way. You have to take joy in people's sorrow, and the state has to step in and do better by those people. They have a responsibility. Just like the EU, we got money now, and we can't go crying, oh, we got enough land in this country that all of us should get a peace sign out to it.
I take it I found it very offensive, to say the least, that the persons there are saying that people are laughing, because I can assure you that the people that are sent to break people's homes down, you don't send a businessman to break down somebody's home. You send people that are just above that line of poverty to do the dirty work. And the fact that they don't have compassion for people that they're just above their level of economic stability. The fact that they don't see themselves as being just a paycheck away from where those persons are, it just gives us an idea of how far we need to get with the conversation. To educate people on the power of unity in voices, and more specifically, that to educate people that when we talk about the poverty line and when we talk about people being above and below, you're not very different, right? You're not very different at all.
The other thing I want to point out that was very, very you didn't notice that video was clear and the audio was extremely clear. And I want to tell you folks who sponsor our program and you folks who give to us that is what your funding do. We were able to procure a better mic, which allows you to hear what they were saying very clearly. You understand the plight they're going through. We were able to procure a better camera that allows you to see clearer, in blurry. You understand me? Because we want you guys to get credible and valid information. And I use that to make the pitch to partner with us. Because that's not the only kind of responsibility we have. The lights have to stay on. The internet has to stay on. The doors to what we do got to stay open. And it's your partnership on a monthly basis that helps us to do that. And so we encourage you, smash the emoji button, share the live, but partner with us as well too. That's my last word.
That's it from me too, guys. Make sure that you share the stream that other persons can get the correct information. Have a good day.
And stay posted to our page. We have some other stuff we're going to share with you during the course of the morning. So stay posted.
I see a troll there. I can't miss you. Welcome to say the very least.
Stay safe, guys.
Bye.